handmade custom label can be just the thing to finish off a special quilt. Whether you want to add a personalized message or note down the quilt details, this is an easy way to make your quilts your own. Today, we'll be showing you the easiest way to create a hand-embroidered quilt label for your next project. To get started, you'll need to cut out the fabric for your quilt label. We are just using a basic white quilting cotton and cutting it into a 4-inch by 5-inch rectangle. On the back of the fabric, we recommend adding a piece of stretch guard, our new creative medium. This medium will help to add extra stability to your fabric, making stitching easier. But since it is flexible, it will keep the label feeling soft and easy to stitch through, and ensure the design lasts. Next up is the design. You can add your name, details about the quilt, cute sayings, or whatever you want to commemorate your quilt. We'll be using this super simple handmade lettering for today. Once you create or find a design you're happy with, use the WonderFil Rinse Away design sheet to transfer it onto your project with ease. This innovative product allows you to print, draw, or trace your design with the assistance of the gridded backing for scale. It is the perfect option for hand-embroidered quilt labels like these. After you've gotten your design onto the Rinse Away design sheet using your preferred method, be sure to cut it down to size. Then remove the backing and place it onto the fabric as centered as possible. It will stay in place as you stitch and provides stabilization to the fabric, so you don't have to use any embroidery hoop. Cut a length of thread no longer than the length of your forearm. Using a shorter length of thread helps you to avoid tangling and knotting as you stitch. Tie a knot on the back end of your thread like so. And now it's time to start stitching. We are starting with a simple back stitch to outline the lettering, then filling out the hearts with a satin stitch and finishing off with a woven back stitch. This design is extremely uncomplicated, but you can add as much or as little detail to your quilt label as you want. For thread, we will be using Eleganza, our 8-weight perlé cotton. This long, stable Egyptian cotton thread is double gassed and mercerized, making for a low-lint, smooth surface that makes hand stitching a breeze, especially when stitching on thicker projects with multiple layers, like a quilt. After you finish stitching out your design, you can run it under room temperature water to dissolve the Rinse Away design sheet. Once it dries, you can prep the label for the quilt. You will flip all 4 edges under and iron for a cleaner finish. We recommend ironing your hand stitching on a towel or wool ironing mat from the back to avoid flattening your stitches. Fold each side in about 1/3 of an inch and iron. Then pin your label into place on the back of your quilt, tucked neatly into a corner. To attach the quilt label, we stitched along the edges using a running stitch, which will securely attach it while adding a fun final detail of stitching. As you stitch, be sure to not push your needle all the way through to the other side of your quilt. You want to push your needle down through the backing fabric and batting, then push it back up before hitting your quilt top. This way, there will be no additional stitching on the front of your quilt. Once you've stitched around all 4 edges, tie off your thread with a quilter's knot and bury it like so. And you're all done. Here's the finished results. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more great tips, tricks, and tutorials. You can also sign up for our weekly newsletter to get the first look at free projects, sewing tips, and inspiring tutorials delivered right to your inbox. Check out the description box below to sign up, as well as find a list of stores and retailers that you can purchase WonderFil threads from in your country.